In October of 1991, Linda Little was last seen riding her bicycle. She reportedly stopped at a convenience store to get a donut and chocolate milk and read the newspaper. When she didn't show up to work, that's when her family knew something was wrong.
I don't know the exact specifics, but that was what we knew at that time.
The lack of information weighed heavily on Wanda Hinson. Her older sister, Linda Little, lived a few blocks away at the time at Daytona Beach. Hinson had just seen her.
I went and gave her a little early birthday present. And so we stood out in the yard and talked.
That was the last time she saw Little. A missing persons report was filed on October 14th, 1991. The next 3 decades, there would be few leads in the case.
Through the years, it's gotten a lot easier, but I would just cry at a moment's notice.
I was on coke real bad, and so I just started going around.
In 2019, we sat down with Michael Townsend inside a Florida prison where he was spending a life sentence for killing his childhood friend inside her Titusville, Florida home.
Something can trigger it to where I snap and I end up, doing some dumb.
Townsend told us in the late 80s, while on a lot of drugs, he started traveling around the Southeast. He told us his drug-obsessed lifestyle often ended with another person dead. He admitted to killing 9 people, mostly strangers. 2 were in Memphis. Townsend also told a counselor at the prison about the Memphis killings.
They reached out to us to let us know this information to see if we would want to interview him, and of course we did.
Townsend said he met one of the women near the Peabody, and they did drugs.
We started fooling around, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, I'd snap.
MPD's detectives say Townsend gave details only the killer would know.
Take her out of my car, put her on the side of the road, put shoes by her.
Police identified the woman as Aline Michelle Branch, a loving mother. She was killed in 1993, just 9 days before Christmas.
My intentions are not to hurt no one. Those are not my intentions. I didn't want to kill anyone. I was just looking to hang out, have some fun, and get high.
First time I spoke to him was January 8th of 2020.
David Denardi is with the Daytona Beach Police.
He had reached out to the inspector at the prison, saying that he wanted to speak to a Daytona Beach homicide detective.
Townsend was in a prison in Daytona Beach at the time.
I spent, a couple hours talking to him, and he was very, very honest, very, very forthcoming.
Denardi says Townsend gave details that lined up with Little's disappearance. He said he was in Daytona Beach in 1991 celebrating his birthday, which was October 12th, when he met a woman at a hotel bar, a bar Little's sister told us she frequented for happy hour.
For it being 31 years ago, and for, he said he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol at the time, but he has a very good memory.
Denardi reached out to us in 2020, a few months after he spoke to Townsend. On March 10th, Townsend sent us a message through the prison's messaging system. He said, "Talk to Daytona and confess to the murder. I'm waiting to hear from them. We'll tell you all about it." We followed up with Townsend and are waiting to hear back. On October 24th, Townsend was indicted in the killing of Little.
And I just felt like 5 pounds had been lifted off my shoulders.
Hinson says she still has questions, like when he exactly met her sister and where did he leave her body.
Supposedly, he took her into Georgia. And so they're in touch with the departments up there to see if there were any remains that have been found through the years because of the construction that's been done up there.
Townsend had told us he never knew what made him snap, what drove him to kill, but believed it had something to do with being abused during his childhood.
I know these people been living with why for years. I can't explain why.
Other agencies across the Southeast have talked to Townsend. He also told us he hit a woman with a stick in a cemetery in Mississippi around the same time he was reportedly in Memphis. Around the same time, a woman was found dead in Rosedale, left in a cemetery next to the Mississippi River levee. Her case remains unsolved.
Are you convinced that there's more out there? There's more cases that he could be connected to?
Absolutely. I know he told me it's closer to 10. And I unfortunately, I do believe him.
Little would have turned 75 in October. She would have been a great grandmother.
She lived her life more in the short period of time that she lived than a lot of people live in their whole life.
Hinson misses her every day. Jessica Gertler, WREG, News Channel 3.